What's up, guys? Welcome to Smoking Meats. Today I'm going to walk through a quick video on some of the must-have mods, products, whatever you want to call it, for your Masterbuilt Gravity Series. Now, this will work for the 1050 and the 800. Of course, what we're looking at today is the 800. I love this grill. I've had it for a little over a month and a half now, and really does a great job. So right now I've got a whole chicken on there. It's been on there for a few hours. I'm just about to pull it off, and I wanted to do a quick video for you guys on some of the mods I've done. And this is stuff that's not super expensive. I'm not even going to talk about this Clotes mod back here, the vent, which honestly is probably not worth the money. So not going to talk about that today. But what I am going to talk about is just some of the things I've done that I think are super easy for anybody, that you don't have to break out the drill and do it. You just have to spend a few dollars, not a lot. So first things first, my favorite mod so far. This isn't even a mod, it's just something cool to have. If you've got a cell phone brick, a battery charger brick, this will work for you as well. But I recommend this solar version. Now there's many different versions. You can get the ones that lay out in a mat. This one I bought on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. As well as a 5 volt, which by the way, most USB bricks put out 5 volts for voltage. So 5 volt to 12 volt adapter. And that plugs right into your grill. So never again do you have to power this thing off your house. So again, I've got my charger or the power cables wrapped up back there, never use it anymore. And I bring this thing out and I put it out here, and in direct sunlight this thing stays pretty well charged, and I really haven't had to charge it in several weeks of using it. So your mileage may vary depending on how much sunlight you get, but here I've got plenty of sunlight, so it works out quite well. So that's a really cool setup. So this battery brick plus this, I think, is probably like 40 bucks total, so really inexpensive. Next thing I recommend is get yourself a good pair of kitchen gloves. I like these ones from Kitchen Perfection. I'm sure there's a million different brands out there. I'll put the link in the description. These are nice and rubbery. They're great for picking up a piece of meat, moving around, just keep them out with me when I'm grilling or doing some smoking. The next thing is, and this is just in case of emergency, and you're probably thinking, why does he have this cable out here? So this, if this looks familiar to you, is because this is the same connector that plugs into all of your sensors. Now, if you just got your grill, you may be thinking, why the heck do I need to worry about wiring? Well, occasionally you have sensors in that door, you have a sensor in this door, you have a sensor in this door, though that one's less critical. All of those can fail mid-cook. And if they do happen to fail in an open position, meaning the machine or the brain thinks that door is wide open, then you've got a problem, because now the fan won't kick on. So the good thing is you can take one of these guys, and again, I'll put the link in the description on these, and just cut this back and twist these two wires together and plug it in, and it will think that connector is now closed, or that switch is now closed. So if you just swap it out down there, pick which one is failing, swap it out, boom, you've got kind of a backup plan in case you're doing a long smoke and for some reason your fan's not firing up. That's usually what the number one thing that fails. So check those out. Again, link in the description. Last two things here. The Thermapen. The Thermapen 1 is, they put them on sale occasionally. Apparently I can't hold it. They put them on sale occasionally, and I think I got this for like 65 bucks. They're usually about 100 bucks. They do 30% off sales quite often. Super nice because it's instant, pretty much instant readings. Now I'll show you guys this. So fold this out a little bit, pull this out. This chicken's just about to come off, so kind of a good thing, but you can push it in, you'll see it jump right up. So we're right in the breast there, 152. You can pull it down here a little bit hotter. We'll go in the leg here, and we're about ready to be pulled. Obviously that leg's probably cooking a little too much now, but really nice to have that. So the Thermapen 1, while it is expensive, it's a really nice to have tool. And while these are nice, which I'll talk about these in a minute, they don't always give you accurate reading across the entire piece of meat. So if you have a brisket, you're only going to get, a point where the point of these guys are in the meat. You're not going to be able to check from flat to point on the brisket. You're not going to be able to check from breast to leg. So get yourself an instant read thermometer. It's a good investment. Also, by the way, if you let this thing sit here for a while, it will turn off, and then when you just grab it again, it will turn back on. So it's kind of cool. Next thing I'll talk about, fire starters. You can get whatever you want. I really truly believe the Masterbuilt ones are legit. These boxes, I'll put a link in the description. 48 starters, like 13 bucks. You can get them cheaper at Walmart, honestly. You just break them down into little blocks, and all you need is about this. Honestly, you could probably cut these in half. That slides in there. Starter, great starter. You can use the tumbleweed versions as well, but honestly, not because I am not sponsored by Masterbuilt. I just bought these and they work pretty darn legit. I've never had a failure when it comes to starting, so definitely check that out. And guys, last but certainly not least is something I did for about 20 bucks. You may be thinking, what the hell is this piece of metal? So this is basically expanded sheet metal. And sheet metal, that's really cheap. You get this at Lowe's. You can see I bought this at Lowe's for about 20 bucks. And this is just the scrap left over. And what I did was modify my ash bin. And if you look in here, you'll be able to see that expanded aluminum in there. So the expanded sheet metal in there. So now what happens is all the stuff that falls, the bigger stuff, hits the grate, continues to burn, provides some smoke flavor, obviously, but not go into the ash down below, and the ash is able to drop below. And the problem was before, those were dropping down in the ash, getting smoldered by the ash, and then not being used. And I'll actually show you out where I dump it in my fire pit, the difference between one cook versus another cook when I have this bin versus not having this bin, and you'll be shocked at the amount of burn that you get out of those versus not having this. So it's just incredible to put that in there. Super easy. Cut it to size, bent it down a little bit, and just let it go. So cheap mod. You can buy mods out there that are much more expensive, but that one is, to me, one of the better ones you can do. So let's go ahead and check over at that fire pit now, and I'll show you guys the difference between the two types of burns on that little ash bin modification. Okay, well, yeah, the pumpkin was out here, I guess, being used for something. Anyway, on the left side of this stick, that is after the ash bin modification. On the right side, that is before. Now, the right side is older, so it's had a little bit more rain and whatnot on it, but you can see the difference here. Look at all that more ash versus a lot more charcoal or lump charcoal that just didn't burn. That came right out of the bucket, and that's just, to me, a huge waste of fuel. So put yourself a grate in your ash bin, and you will thank yourself as far as using all the fuel that you put through your Masterbuilt. All right, last but certainly not least is getting yourselves additional temperature probes. Now, we just talked about the fact that the ThermaPen 1 does a great job, but just to keep the app running, giving me a couple extra spots, I like having at least more than one probe. You get one with the box. These I bought, you can buy a pack of like 4 or 5, and they work great. So I definitely recommend them. Right now, it is reading at 160. I think these are about a 4 to 5 degree variance. So personally, be careful with them if you're trying to hit a certain temperature, but they do work great. So they run through the little hole on the side, just like they should, down here, and plug right in. And honestly, they go bad. They go bad occasionally. In fact, the one that I got from Masterbuilt isn't reading as good as these two are now. So your mileage may vary again, but I recommend getting yourself some more temp probes and using the full feature. It's got 4 inputs over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm only using 2, but it does have 4. So guys, use some temperature probes. But that's it. So guys, I think it's time to pull the chicken off. We're getting really close here, 160 in the breast. Let it rest for a few minutes and have some dinner. If you guys want to check out more, I'm going to be doing more on this channel, and look forward to your like and subscribe. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.